Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken to know that everything is unseen before it is seen, and there's a spiritual hierarchy of realms and beings that you can exist as and experience and become one with and manipulate into your existence to help you have an expansive experience. Today I will wish to address Today I wish to address the spirit realm and the hierarchies of the MagiKaEL beings. Once you become a MagiKaEL being, then you shall know that everything is light and that nothing else exists but your own consciousness. Consciousness is the only thing that exists, and the I am presence is all that everything can be, because nothing can be created without the I am. The I am is all things manipulated into multiple cells, conflicting with each other in order to create expansive awareness and then come back into one union at the end of it all and implode upon itself and create another reality. This is the action of all life. This is the age of all life. These are the ages of everything happening at once and all happening in a cycle. The cycle is forever. It is infinite. Nothing can be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to another continuously and continuously, because everything is infinite. This is the spiritual hierarchy. This is the spiritual realm. This is everything is spirit. Everything is physical. Everything is spirit. Even though it is unseen first, it becomes seen. Okay. And then that seen becomes unseen once more. The cycle is infinite, and the clock is constantly turning. The wheels are constantly turning. The wheels are constantly turning, and everything is constantly moving and constantly in motion. The laws of polarity, the laws of vibration, all of the natural hermetic principles are all at once happening, and nothing can stop it. Okay, because it never began. Everything is infinite. So the spiritual hierarchy, what I'm going to talk about today, dealing with the spiritual hierarchy, is that you have different spiritual entities that are actually within your own biosphere, actually within your own biofield, or aka the aura, which science has now proven and calls the biofield. Okay, and through bioenergetics, we can use technology to actually see this field and deal with the pockets of energy and the pockets and the different vortexes of energy and spiritual beings that are around you at all times. Okay, when you are born, from the you when you are born, you're emitting, before you're even born out of your mother's womb, you're emitting photonic energy. Everything in this realm is built off of photonic energy, constructed in a way to where it creates life. Okay, where it creates what we call life, what we experience as life as human beings. Okay, and what we perceive. The only reason we perceive the way we perceive is because our brains are taking in the light energy, or taking in the photonic energy, and then constructing it through our pineal gland and the pituitary gland's interaction, and then sending it down our spine to all of the different chakras and other elements of our aura slash biofield, and giving us sensuality, and receptivity and response to our environment through all of our stimuli. So our brain is taking in from all of the five senses and the sixth sense, which is imagination and own opinions and thoughts, and then creating an experience for us. So what we must understand is that there are different parts of ourselves outside of what we call the physical body. These different subtle energies, these different pockets of energy, these vortexes that are sitting around us, that are floating around us in different formats, just as the planets float around the earth, just as the planetary bodies float around the earth and the sky and the constellations and the sun and everything else. Everything is moving. Everything is moving. Okay, and there are unseen entities moving. Okay, just like how there's air and there's wind and different elements that you can't see, you see through them. Okay, like helium, all of these different elements, oxygen, all of these different elements, you can't see them until you decrease their vibratory rate. Once you decrease their vibratory rate, their particles actually start to solidify, and once they solidify, they become seen. First, these things are all unseen, just like the human consciousness. The human consciousness was first unseen before it is seen. So there are subtle energies around you that are unseen, that are actually orchestrating your physical body into being. Okay, these subtle energies are called MagiKaEL energies. MagiKaEL meaning they are the energies of the gods of wisdom of the spirit bodies. Okay, the gods of wisdom of the spirit body, or the wise, or the spirit of the wise gods. Okay, the spirits of the wise gods. Okay, when we were created by the Elohim. The Elohim meaning gods, meaning all of creation, meaning all of nature agreed to create the human being, which means all of consciousness consciously said, okay, let's create physical beings, conscious beings that we can live through. Okay, that where they can channel us through them, and that we can, so our principles and morals can actually have experience and effect upon ourselves physically. So when this consciousness When this consciousness agreed, this all consciousness, the all, the I am that was just the one I, which is I am, is all multiple forms of all of his different self in a spectrum up and down, up to down, the whole spectrum of polarity, all agreed that we would create this being. They used this light sun. They particularly the life force of the light body is an integration or an inverted darkness. So the inverted darkness, the darkness showing itself back to itself, reflects light. Okay, and then through that it creates magnetism, electro and magnetism, and split it up. So it creates a divide between the electron and magnetism, and then the electricity bouncing off of the magnetism creates a photonic energy, which they call light. So this light, it goes into the earth and reflects off of the earth, and the earth builds up that light. Okay, through all the other consciousnesses. Okay, through all of the other consciousnesses and all of the everything. Okay, so all of the nature, all of the trees and plants, and all of the wind, all of the air, all of the fire, the water, all of the earth, all of the elements. Okay, they all work together to create physical bodies, what we call human. Okay, everything was a principle at first. So what we must do is study astrology. Study astrology because astrology will give you the different aspects of yourself. Okay, and once you get the bioenergetic device, or you get a or you train yourself to see these energies around you that float around you and begin to talk with these entities, these reflections are manifestations of yourself. Because before you even perceive them, as personifications, then they are just principles and morals. Okay, they are just principles and morals being, thoughts being. They are just unseen thoughts being. So in order to establish a common frequency with them, you actually have to raise your frequency to the point where you only see it as a principle or moral being symbolically, and then integrate it into your thought process. And after you integrate it into your thought process, after working with that thought for so long, you will manifest a lingual communication. You will manifest a lingual communication, which will then personify that entity into your mind as a being. Okay, as a physical, as what you can see as a physical, ethereal, semi-physical being, a semi-physical being. And this is what a lot of people see today when they call angels and demons and the ancestors and archons and deities. They have all of these different names for these different types of things because they have compartmentalized the energy in their head and defined it in such a way to where they know exactly what that is when they see it. Okay, they feel the energy. They feel the energy because they are suppressed, because they have been impressed. The thoughts have been impressed, working in the mind, repeating itself over and over and over again. It has made this entity be a real being in their sight, okay, in their experience. So we have the Merkaba. Once this light was created, this light that created the human being, okay, through the spiritual hierarchies of all that I am, everything is I am, okay, through the spiritual hierarchies of the I am, this light had to have a body through the electric and magnetism. The magnetism had to be in a specific form in order to create the human body. So the specific form that this light chose, that the specific form that this magnetic energy chose to create itself as, was a star tetrahedron, or a double tetrahedron, which was just like two pyramids upside, one upside and one downside, and together. One up facing up towards the sky, and one pointing down towards the ground, and they're both together. They're like two triangles, and two-dimensionally they look like the Star of David. Okay, two-dimensionally it looks kind of like the Star of David, but it's a star tetrahedron, and it's called the Merkaba. We have this energy around us all the time, but it takes thought to activate it, and you must be in the right thought frequency. Okay, you must have the right types of thoughts, and you must think them often. You must think the right types of thoughts more often, and the more often that you think them, the more that this star tetrahedron, or this Merkaba, this light body that you have around you, will begin to work. Okay, it's just like powering up. It's just like powering up a car. Okay, if you don't have the right tools and you don't have the right fuel, you don't have the right types of parts to the car to actually make it work, and you don't have a key and a starter, then the car won't work. Okay, so it takes different parts of your mind. You have to actually activate different parts of your mind to actually activate this light body that's around you. Okay, everything is within. So there's really no outside. The outside is just a reflection of what's on the inside, and when you think of what's right on the inside, everything will be right on the outside. So this is how it works. The Merkaba is the light body. Okay, it's the light body of the gods. It's the light body of the ascended masters. It's the light body of the ones who have become fully conscious of humanity, and then reincarnated in order to teach humanity, okay, this is where we actually come from, since we were in an unconscious state, okay, just being principles and morals without a personification, without having ego, okay, without having a type of ego to where we could communicate with ourselves in a lingual way, in a more physical way. We didn't have the actual conscious. We didn't have the actual conscious awareness to know, okay, I can do this, I can do that. You know, we just be. We were just being. We were just being consciousness. We were constructed as a consciousness first. We were already a consciousness. Okay, we were already a consciousness, always being with the I am, with the great I am. But once you come into physical formality, all of the dualities, you start to go from the oneness to the duality in the physical realm. Okay. So we start splitting up into different people. We start splitting up into doing different things, different arts, different crafts, different morals, different principles. All of us are manifested as certain specific morals and principles, each person. Okay. And so we have these different specific morals and principles all floating around us all the time. And these are thought forms that we always think. They always flow in and out of our chakras. They always flow in and out of our chakras in a specific format and specific orbits, just like the solar system, just like how the sun has all these planets around it. The depiction of the solar system, the sun having all of these planets around it, floating in certain formats so that they won't collide with one another and stay in harmony. These are how your thoughts are made. Okay, and when you have one thought that collides with another thought, or contradicts with another thought, then you have to actually address it to see if it actually contradicts, and if it does, then see which thought is better. And you have to actually take which thought is better, either that or integrate both truths together using the Vesica Pisces, using the Piscean thought of actually taking confusion and creating order, taking chaos and bringing life. Okay, taking chaos and bringing life. Actually seeing the similarities in those thoughts, and whatever is left and what is not needed from the similarities that's bonding those thoughts needs to be done away with, and you use the unity of those thoughts to express within your spiritual realm. Okay, and then that's how you align and balance your chakras. That's how you align and balance your aura or your biofield. Okay, these spiritual hierarchies, the Merkaba, the spiritual hierarchies of the Merkaba, the light body within you. Mer meaning light. Okay, Ka meaning spirit, and Ba meaning body. So you're a spiritual body of light. Okay, you're a light spirit. Okay, your body is light. Your body is the light spirit. Your body is the light spirit. Everything around you is the Merkaba. You are the Merkaba. You would not experience this without the Merkaba. Okay, so you got to have MagiKaEL. Okay. Once you have the MagiKaEL, once you experience that once you become more conscious of the magical aspects of your life, the magic, okay, in your life, that's what happens through faith. When you have faith, you have substance of things hoped for, okay, and the evidence of the unseen. Once you have the evidence of the unseen, then you can actually apply your works. You can actually take that evidence, put it into physical, concrete format, and then apply it to your life, and then redo it over and over and over again to build that connection with the spiritual entities that we have, the spiritual realms that we have disconnected ourselves from through becoming physical. Okay, we made a pact, we made a contract. And once you become conscious of this contract, again, okay, because a lot of people are unconscious of this contract that we've made, okay? You are one being. Humanity has an oversoul, okay, and that is called the Christ. The Christ, aka Melchizedek, aka Enoch, aka Metatron, aka Archangel MagiKaEL, aka the Son of God. Okay, we have this oversoul, the soul that actually contains all of the human consciousness's highest morals and principalities within itself. Okay, expressed as one ethereal being before it becomes physical. Okay, it actually starts to split up into these different beings. Okay, so the contract that we made, the contract that we have with ourselves, which is an eternal contract that we have already had, that we always will have. And once you get to synchronize your right brain with your left brain thinking, you will begin to understand this. It's called left right synchronicity, knowing that one is all. Okay, oneness is duality. Okay, made a contract in order to manifest ourselves as physical beings. Okay, since not all of spirituality, not all of spiritual principles and morals can fit into one single body, we began to split. Okay, we began to forget. Okay, we began to forget, so we rewire ourselves in order to create these bodies, in order to create bodies that can host different principles and morals. So you have to forget parts of yourselves in order to even become physical. Okay, in order to rewire your consciousness to be a physical being instead of just being a principle and moral without any expression, okay, of that, without any being or experience of that. Okay, instead of being nothing, you have to become something. And upon becoming something, you lose a part of yourself. Okay, you don't actually lose that part of yourself. It's just that you become less conscious of that part of yourself. And once you become less conscious of that part of yourself, you become more conscious of another part of yourself, and that other part of yourself is the physical part of yourself. But since you're only focused on the physical part of yourself, then it makes you only look at physical things. It makes you only take in physical matter, things that are only concretely seen, though there are other parts of yourself that are unseen. And that's the part that we need to become more focused on, the spiritual hierarchies and the actual MagiKaEL parts of yourself. Okay, Magi were people that studied the wisdoms of creation, that studied the wisdoms of being, okay, the manifested realm, that studied how unseen things come into seen format. Okay, these were the Magi. Okay, they're called wise ones. Okay, this is where witchcraft comes from. The craft of the wise ones was witchcraft, okay, which was magic, which means the craft of the wise ones, the same thing. It all means the same thing. Magi, when the Magi surround the Magi, okay, the three Magi that actually met up for the Savior's birth. They actually met up for the Savior's birth to give him gifts. Okay, to give him the power to bestow him with the innate, to unlock the genes within him that have the innate quality of MagiKaEL. Okay, Magi meaning wise ones, Ka meaning spirit, and El meaning gods. Okay, so they're gods of the wise spirits, okay? Gods of the wise spirits. When you are MagiKaEL, when you become more conscious of your MagiKaEL energy, and you will become closer. You will be focused on becoming closer with the God within you, with the all being within you, the highest extent of your principles and morals, and being more righteous, that has the power, the wise power to manipulate the spirit, okay, to manipulate yourself, basically self-manipulation. Okay, when you become more conscious of your own self-manipulation, then you will see the MagiKaEL within you, the MagiKaEL, the MagiKaEL, okay, like MagiKaEL, okay? Like how the angels, they all have El, most of them have El within their name. Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, okay? That means a specific part of God. That means a part of God, okay? When you are MagiKaEL, then you are a God of divine wisdom, okay? You become a God of divine wisdom, okay? This is no coincidence. This is no coincidence that the angels, being different sons of God, which were called the sons of God, the angels were called the sons of God, and they all have El in their name. And then the original name for God was Elohim, or Elo, in the beginning of the Bible. And Elohim means gods with an S, which means that all of creation is God, which means everything is God. Everything has already existed and is always existing and can never stop existing, only transform from one state to the next. Okay? This is the secrets of the fruit of the tree of life. Okay, these are the secrets of oneness. This is the secret of Merkabahs. This is the secret of magic, of magi, of MagiKa, of MagiKaEL, of the magical, of the magical. This is the secret of the magical. Okay, this is the secrets of being one and in tune with oneself. Study your astrology. Astrology will show you that you have different parts of your aura, different parts of your biofield that are actually based on your signs, your planets, and your houses. Okay? The kingdom of God, the many mansions. These are the many mansions that the Christ speaks of. Okay. You must study your own astrology. Study your astrology. Get a natal chart. Study it in depthly. Study it every day. Okay. And then you will begin to see that the pockets of information within your mind are all parts of the macrocosm. You are just a microcosmic aspect of the macrocosm. You are a reflection of the all I am, okay? In one being, the I, okay? You are the I that is within all eyes, okay? You are the I that is within all I that I am, okay? Everything is I am. I am that I am, okay? Everything is I am. So, you must study numerology. Numerology, there are a lot of people that see numbers, they see patterns, they see these numerical patterns, okay? And there's a lot of people that relate them to angels. See, that's a good thing, but that's half truth. The half truth is that it's not just directly connected to an angel, it's actually an aspect of yourself, okay? The full truth is that everything is self, okay? So in order for you to actually see the truth, you must actually take that information though and actually apply it to your life, okay? And experience it. Experience this full truth. Experience this whole truth, okay? Without misinformation. It's actually applying pure information, pure mental thought to your life, okay? When you connected all of the dots. So numerology, each pocket of energy or vortex around you and within you is called the chakra system, which is these 7 energy vortexes which relate to the physical glands in your body, which the physical glands are manifestations of these pockets of ethereal energy that start at the top of your head and go down to your root, which is near your anus or near your pelvic region of your body. So we have these 7 chakras and physically manifested as glands down our spine, okay, of our body. But we also have these pockets of energy that aren't physically manifested, okay? That aren't physically manifested or not seen anyway. They are manifested, they're just not physically seen with our eyes, because our eyes can only pick up of a certain amount of light, okay? So you have different pockets of information, and with numerology and astrology, that will tell you, okay, you see these certain numbers. You have these different aspects of yourself. And when you're consciously within, or unconsciously, when you're in an energy of yourself and you see this number, a specific energy of yourself, and you see these specific numbers, then that number is telling you, that part of yourself is relating back to you and telling you that you need to look at this part of yourself in a specific way in order to gain more conscious control of it. Okay, so like my sun is in Aries. Okay, so when I'm just expressing myself, when I'm just really just beaming. Okay, and my moon is in Aries. So when I'm just beaming, when I'm just acting, and then I just all of a sudden I see oh, I think they in the first house too. Oh my gosh, boy. But anyways, when I see a number, okay, I see a number, then that number is supposed to give you a message, okay? Whether I see 1111 or 777, 888, 666, 2222, or anything, that specific number is giving me a message that I need to adhere to while I'm expressing my Aries, while I'm currently expressing my Aries and post, and then out of nowhere I just see 1111. Oh snap, angelic. Oh snap. Angelic presence. That means you need to focus on the unity of dualities. That means you need to focus on your spiritual intuition and your highest psychic self. Okay. Well, I'm expressing myself right now. I'm fiery. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Aries. I'm just acting off straight. You know what I'm saying? Just straight impulsive feeling. I'm going. So it's telling me that I need to look at it's telling me I need to just, for instance, it's telling me I need to look at myself as I'm expressing that spiritually. Okay, I need to look at that from a higher spiritual vision. I need to look at that intuitively to see what type of information, what am I doing while I'm expressing the Aries? What am I doing? Okay, that's basically what 1111 means. 1111 means to look at it from a higher perspective. Look at what you're actually doing in depth, and then use that to better what you're doing, evolve spiritually. That's basically what 1111 symbolizes. 1111 is basically like the oneness of all. Okay, that's why it's 2 1s on each side. It's 2 1s on each side, because one plus one equals 1. Okay, there can only be 1. Okay, that's why it's just one, 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 one. There can only be one. So if I'm just being in my Aries, you know, all the way, and I all of a sudden I see 11, 11, then that means I need to take note of how am I creating my spiritual vision? How am I manipulating my spiritual vision at that time to evolve? Okay? Through my Aries, through me expressing my Aries. So you got to connect astrology and numerology with it. Okay, you got to connect astrology, numerology, and the biofield. Okay, you got to connect your aura, your chakra system with numerology and all of these parts of yourself and with epigenetics, because everything starts from a gene. A gene creates an action. Okay, so once you connect these different sciences and begin to see the spiritual hierarchy through neurology, you will begin to reprogram your brain, okay, and learn how to forget things and remember them at will, okay? You'll begin to actually reprogram your whole existence, your whole reality, your experience, step by step. Okay, it will take time, but time is a concept of the mind, and you will know this by researching four-dimensional space-time curvature. This is a scientific fact. Isaac Newton called it gravity. Einstein called it space-time curvature. They were both talking about the same thing. But time is a concept of the mind. Space is created by how that time bends. Time is just energy. So however much energy you put into a space, determines that event and that space-time curvature, simply put. So the more thoughts you put into doing something, the more thoughts you put into actually practicing and mastering and looking at the magical elements of your reality, looking how everything is falling in place, and that how these different parts of yourselves, after you focus on them in certain ways from different perceptions and use them for certain things, after so long, you will rewire your whole existence to match exactly how you want to perfectly use yourself. Everything is self. And that is the MagiKaEL energy. That is what comes from the Magi. The MagiKaEL. The MagiKaEL. The wise spirit God. That's what magical means. The word magical means wise spirit God. So for anybody to tell anybody else that you shouldn't be using magic is correct if you are not conscious of what you are fully doing. If you are not fully conscious of what you are doing, okay? If you are not fully conscious of specifically what type of ritual you're doing or what you're trying to see or experience and to manipulate into your experience, then you should not be looking for magical things. You should be only focused on straight logic. You should be breaking it down into practical use so that you can know exactly what you're doing when you are doing it. And do not participate in other people's rituals without knowing their energy, because love is understanding. And once you understand them, then you can know whether you should participate with their energy or not. Because auras, the biofield, it stretches more than 10 feet out. And when you come into another person's perspective, or to another person's aura field, then your planets, your different planets, signs, and houses all begin to interact with one another, and you begin to exchange energies. Nothing exists without energy exchange. You begin to exchange energies. This is the wisdom of the MaGiKaEL, of the MagiKaEL, from MaGiKaEL, our oversoul. We call Christ, or Yeshua, or Enoch, or Melchizedek. Okay? Or Buddha, or the Devas. These deities that we speak of, they're all higher principles, higher acknowledgments of the self. Get your information, study, but do not practice what you do not know about. You must begin to look at reality as energy, unseen and seen. And when this happens, you will see that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to another until you create the blissful experience and join the consciousness of the I am, that is all. If energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to the next, then that means that you are God. And that means that you are a specific formation of the all, of the I am presence. And that in truth, there is only one. In the law of duality, duality is only illusion. That's why it's called reality. 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 It is reality. Okay, all came from El. All came from the word El. Okay, and El comes from the word all. So El means God. So reality meaning that this is just a projection or a repetition of God being. This is just a repetition, a reflection of God. This is only the projection of what you actually are. This is only a projection of who you actually can be, of who you actually are and willing to be. It's only a projection. This is not the real, this is not the quote unquote real realm. This is not the quote unquote fake realm. It is both. These are half truths. One telling you that this reality is not real. One telling you this reality is real. You must see the whole truth. The whole truth, even though I speak, will only be half truth until you experience, is that the real you is only one. It's only one real you. But being only one you wish to experience yourself. And that wish to experience yourself, to not be just one you, creates millions, multitudes, infinitudes of different perspectives of yourself. And they go out and converse with their selves. It all becomes many selves conversing through the one self. So in reality, and then the all, within the all is the one, and the reality or the projection of the all, the miniature projection of the all, the reality, is what we see as separatism, as different parts of ourselves, as different parts of something separate from you. You think that just your physical body is you, but no, everything is you. And the whole truth is that there is only one projecting multiplicity within itself in order to create experience. So in truth, duality is only, in truth, all of the other selves, all the other parts of cells of the MaGKaEL energy, of the MagiKaEL energy, the MagiKaEL energy, are only refractions of the one God. There is only one. So even if you say you worship another God, you are still, through that energy, the energy that you are using to even worship another God or lower God or a higher God is the all energy of God, of what is, that all that can be, the oneness. So get in tune with your MagiKaEL energy and start to actually visualize through your right brain concepts and break it down logically with your left brain synchronicity, and begin to apply this information, working to see the spiritual hierarchy of yourself, of self, the spiritual realms of self. Because there is nothing without self. Without your own consciousness, you cannot perceive any of this. There is only self. Share and subscribe. Join the MagiKaEL. Join the angels, the El. They are waiting for you. The spiritual hierarchies, the spiritual beings, the higher spiritual beings. They cannot just come and invade. They can only give subtle energy. They can only give subtle energy. They can't just come when you, they can't just come exactly how you want them to. Without you doing something. Without you doing something. Because you are them. They are unconscious. They are not fully conscious of your situation. Because you are not fully conscious of your situation. So praying to a God in the sky, praying, your whole perception of God has been flawed. Because you do not perceive that God is within you. And not something far off outside of you, as the great and honorable Reverend Ike says. You believe God is somewhere far off in the sky. I believe God is within me. Who is the biggest atheist? I believe God is within me, and you believe God is far off in the sky. Who's the biggest atheist? So let us begin to see that everything is God. Every aspect, whether they're angels, demons, fallen angels, archons, demiurge, ascended masters, fairies, trolls, gremlins, dragons, all of these different things that we call spiritual or supernatural. There are you, and they cannot come to aid you. No one, your ancestors cannot come to aid you if you do not become more conscious of your own situation. Because they cannot come help you until you're able to match their frequency. The universe works off frequency, light, vibration, frequency, energy, and vibration, frequency, energy, and vibration. So you must match the frequency of what you want in order to have it. Share and subscribe. I am JAH MASHIAC. I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. And I say that we will become more conscious of the situations that we're in. We will connect with the spiritual hierarchies and spiritual realms. And we will become more MagiKaEL. We will become more MagiKaEL. And we will begin to consciously use witchcraft for our betterment and for an expansive experience within the all of the I am, which everyone is. And the collective consciousness will become so conscious of themselves that they will bring the new heaven and the new earth. The power of the 144,000 shall open the portal to a new consciousness. And the rest of the collective consciousness shall follow. Go add my other social media and let's spread this information. Peace.